Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad and this is SuperCoach Pro. Today I'm doing a bit of a live stream. It is late night. Of course, it's about 10:30 on a Wednesday night. SuperCoach Team Picker was released today. So I was just going through my side. You would have already seen the video perhaps that I sent out this early afternoon. I was just going through some players that I probably have missed as well, potentially in this video. But there's more to answer any questions. Go through the picker. If you haven't already got SuperCoach Gold, it only costs $30 to do, and you can get the team picker about a month early for when it's released. Prior to the general public, which is like normally late January thereabouts. So this team is just a first rough draft. Hopefully my mic is working too because it's plugged in. It doesn't really tell me much, but first thought. I just want as many primos as I can get in this side that I actually think will be top of their line. So when I'm looking at my backline in particular, I think Sheasel and Holmes will be top 6 for sure. McKercher might be. He's a little bit more speculative. Probably hoping he retains more half-back role than what he does midfield. And then the midfielders, I've got to find a way potentially to find Bont in there. I don't want to be missing out on his big scores. He pumped out some big 180s last year, and his price doesn't really come down very often in seasons of late anyway. And then you got Butters and Dacos in there as well. I think they are decent VC and Cs. And then finally I learned how to share my screen. So that's a first. My Ruck, Cherry Meek, I think they're pretty much set and forget along with Gorn in that flex position. And forward line, I want to use as many midfielders and halfback flankers as possible in that line. Give me 2 seconds. Just going to let my cat out because this is what she always does. I should just leave the door slightly open. But that is the side so far. I'm going to tinker with it a little bit while we're on the live. Just give me 2 seconds to do something. Anyway, sorry about that. I've had a look at the let the cat out the box gives fits. The cat is just doing its annual thing of wanting to enter in and out 3 or 4 times in an hour. I feel like I've missed some rookies in this lineup here, but early days doesn't really matter because they can be replaced. I might have a look at different structures in the back line. I don't want to go too mid-price heavy either. Ashcroft's a bit of a where does he land, I suppose. He is a good pick, but is he going to be top 8 to top 10? I'm not too sure. So it's a little bit difficult picking these ones that you think will break out. But some of these players have to break out. You never have the same top 10 in each year exactly the same. Like there's always 3 or 4 swapping and changing. So going to fiddle around with it over Christmas and whatnot as well. I have been doing something interesting. I've been doing my leg sleeves at the moment. So I've finished my left and my right calf and turned them into sleeves. Because I've been getting allergies over the spring or whatever you want to call it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to cover up my legs completely. So anime theme. So you won't see those legs though until Shorty's goal kicking vid whenever that is next year. I think it's always around Queen's birthday when the ground's pretty dewy and I still can't kick, but that's okay. I'm not going to get signed for any local team. Knowing my luck, I just got my shoulder again, like I did last preseason, December 2nd, second, session in, just got on my shoulder, and I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm retiring once again. But yeah, Skizfits, I am well, mate. It is good to be back. Needed a break. I don't do any of that BBL or any of that other fantasy stuff, so it's good to have a break, mate. So especially when you got a kid and whatnot. So it's been full on, but nice to just chill out for now. And now we're back into the swing of things. Shorty, what is going on, mate? Merry Christmas to you, my friend. It is good to have the team picker. Have you subbed? Have you got the goals description? I know you've never really been too much of a fan of the goals description. Pretty sure I've seen you go through like Fan Footy or Footy Wire or one of them talk at projection prices and whatnot. So look, if you want me to, shout you $30 for the gold description, it is well worth it, my friend. Maybe this year you won't be picking your gimpy types. I'm just kidding. I'll have a good pod, and I think this year I need to pick one. Jack, g'day, my friend. How you going? Says, hope you're good. I sure am. Liking the beard. Yeah, I look a bit I look like I've just come out of the shower because I have, but the beard's looking okay. I've got it nicely shaped, so I'm not doing a mow like Shorty. I wouldn't pull off a mow. I look like I need to stay away from schools if I had a mow. It just doesn't suit me. Or I look like I work at a kebab shop. Nothing wrong with working in a kebab shop though. About to catch a flight to Oslo. Very nice. Always on the plane. Always looking at some nice views, if you know what I mean, Jack. Might do one in Melbourne. Yeah, sure you. I don't believe it, Shorty. Are you gaslighting our community out there? Because I will come with you. If you go to Melbourne, I'll definitely come with. It just depends what weekend. Yeah, I'd be keen, mate. We can catch a train in from Geelong. Go, Warm Pond Station or wherever you want to go from. Skiz Fits, Shorty, your glasses looked fine, mate. All about the eye protection. What is this about? What have I missed here, Shorty? Fill us in, Skiz Fits. I have no idea the eye protection you were talking about. Interesting. Fill me in. FPL is back. Hello, FPL. Hey, Brad. Hey, everyone. And Skiz Fits, HSP for the win. It definitely is for the win. I had one for lunch today. Well, I should say afternoon shift. I do 2 p.m. till 10 at the moment. Got myself a sneaky one. $27 later. Didn't care because I just got paid. So nothing wrong with paycheck to paycheck. Anyway, back to the team picker. I haven't been seeing anyone's teams yet because I've been working this afternoon and I'm assuming all the videos come out. But I feel like hopefully there's some differentials in the midfield and defense. I feel like the forward line is going to be pretty similar. But I'll have a look at some videos over the weekend and see what I can see. I wore my glasses on cam for about 10 seconds. I didn't even know you wore glasses, Shorty. They're just reading ones, or tell me they're not just for fun. You know what those girls, some of those chicks that wear glasses and don't even need them, they really grind my gears. Anyway, I'm getting distracted because it's been a long time since I've done a live stream with all the regs back. I think I did a live stream about a week or two ago, and there was just nothing happening. But all the lads are out tonight. It is hump day, payday. Anyway, eventually, I'm pretty sure the team picker will actually show us the percentage owned of players. And I have no idea when that actually starts happening. But hopefully soon. The flex is the interesting one. What do you use it for? I feel like people are going to go for the ruck or midfield line potentially, or use it as a rookie as well, like a rookie DPP. I've seen a few different options in that area. But yeah, I can't believe I've finally figured out in 2024 late season how to share my screen. This is going to come in handy for my actual team reviews. I might do that instead of making a video. I'll just do a live stream of my team review. Anyway, that defense is interesting. Like the premiums I suppose. I'll go through that a little bit better than what I did with my 6-minute team picker video. The ones I like, Flanders, of course. I think he's a little bit expensive for a defender. Says me that bought Sheasel for 6K less. Luke Ryan, I like. I don't like Whitfield. I know Whitfield might be a little bit popular, but in my opinion, apart from last year, he gets injured way too much, and I can't have my I was going to say my head in my lap, but that just sounds weird. But I can't have my hands over my face watching Whitfield every week. That would stress me out. I don't want to be stressed out in SuperCoach too much. Zorko's one I completely missed thinking about, to be honest, just because he is pretty old. Only a couple of years older than me, but you know what I mean. Sinclair's one I really want to sneak in just due to the juicy fixture. Here's another one. Houston, no, he's got the early suspension. Oh, and Shorty, just while we're at it, one of these mugs is a coffee and one of these is a Milo. So I'm trying to get through this because I am wrecked. I think this is the coffee. I'm not sure. But I'll have to bring you some more milk next time we do a potty. If you guys don't already know, I work for a milk company, so I get free milk all the time, which is great because I don't even know the price of milk anymore since I've been getting it free since February. Looking at the backline in a second. Shane, what's going on, mate? Change the game style a bit, Freo, after the bye. I'll probably stay away from Ryan. I think so too. I think it actually helps out his counterpart, which I'm just drawing blanks on. I'll go to the team picker. Jordan Clark. I think it actually benefits Jordan Clark more than what it will Luke Ryan, just how they use it. The ball back there. But Houston's got to be a miss. Like, that suspension, no thank you. Not interested in Nick Martin this year, nor Ridley. Newman could be interesting. I've heard he's playing in midfield. Nass I'm interested in, and Max Holmes. So above that 500k mark, they're the primos I really like. Now, Sicily, after doing his shoulder dislocation, not a fan. I don't want to go there. Bailey Dale, I think he's too expensive for what he produces. He was good if you jumped on for that cheap price last year. Blakey, no, too inconsistent. Just ask Steve. Tom Stewart, no. I had my hair pulled out over watching Stewart, and he played better in the midfield. Just ask Shorty. When he would have watched those Cats games, Stewart tends to get tagged now. So I just can't see myself going anywhere near Stewart. Although he feels like he is underpriced, he is getting a little bit older. So for me, no thank you. But I really love Flanders, Sheasel, and Sinclair. Also Jordan Clark, of course. That's my analysis of that. If we're looking at mid prices in the back line, let's clear the team. My cat won't stop meowing. Unbelievable. Anyway, defense mid prices. What Shano's saying here. Sheasel and Sinclair for me, I think, but it's very early. It's definitely very early. If you're on SuperCoach live streams now and watching videos now, you are the elite crazy ones about SuperCoach like myself. So let's look at the mid-price madness in the back line. Anything appeal to me? Let's not talk about Stephen May, but McKercher is definitely one. Sard, no thank you. He's got the scoring potential, but always does hammies. Trent Rivers could be interesting. Zach Fisher, no thanks. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. If Tom Barras wasn't so hot and cold like Katy Perry, he'd be all right. But he scores 30s, and it's a no thank you. So no to that. Now I'm just going to scroll up a bit. I was just asked a question on why no Ridley. Have a look at his games played. How do I say that name? Duck. I'm just going to call you Duck. Dark Mess. I haven't seen you around before, but yeah, no Ridley for me, just because he is very injury prone, mate. He's got very good scoring, but I'd rather one that's not so much an intercept defender like your Sicily and Ridley's, but maybe more that halfback carrier sort of role where at least you're hoping that they have 22 to 28 disposals instead of 10 intercept marks every game to ton up. It also depends on kick-out duties as well for Ridley sometimes for me. I have heard, I don't know if this is true. Did somebody else see Redmond was playing like stints of midfield this year? That was weird. I'll have a look at the mid prices in a second. I'm just going to say goodnight to Shorty. Catch you later, mate. I'm sure we'll see you around on some stream. And we'll have to do a few videos in 2025 season, by the way, Shorty. So enjoy that Milo of yours, which I'm probably sure you're sipping on at the moment. Anyway, so mid prices are quite ugly for me. Where are we? I'm gonna try to give you guys 8. Short's one of them. If Short's playing halfback flank role and taking kickouts, then I'm possibly on board. So I'll have a think about that, but I don't really know who else is going to share the kick-out duties with Short in Richmond. I'd say he'd be taking 80, 90%. I don't know, Skiz Fitz, I know you're Tigers, man. You might know this, but that's what I'm pretty certain of. Maybe Bolter would take a few for the long bomb, but I don't know. Vlosten a few, perhaps. I'm not too sure, but Short will definitely take the majority. It's just whether or not he can accumulate like he has in the past, but he's a mid-90s kind of guy, not a 105 kind of guy for me. Thank you. I appreciate it, mate. Very much so. I'm going to give you guys some more plays in the back line that I like. Matt Roberts is one we should talk about. His numbers are pretty decent. Before that injury, he was looking really good. He had a hot streak, hence why his price that pretty awkward, but he can produce that 80 to 100 mark there. So I really like Roberts as a mid-pricer. The Skiz Fits, what have you got me for? I can't wait for Trainer to get it in. He has a beautiful kick. Yes, he does. Let's just hope he doesn't get any concussions, or else it could be an early career over for him. But yeah, I reckon he might be a sneaky rookie we can actually start up if we get the insight. Like Richmond are pretty open generally with who's best on their park. They don't really play games too often. It's more just who's a sub every week that really annoys me about our Tigers side. I'm not sure about Uze. Like I feel like he had a lot of injuries for the Tigers team last season, but I just want to see a little bit more from him. But anyway, it's going to be a tough years for the Tigs. Back to this. Now, not any of these players. No, thank you. No. Oh, awesome Humphreys. Interesting. Perryman could. He's a potential mid-pricer that could do well. Do I like 3 more in this weird price bracket? No, thank you. None of these players appeal. Nick Haynes, no, I think he's about 31, so no, I'd rather almost a Logan Evans at that point, who potentially might take Houston's role. I'm not too sure. Broad, stay away. McDonald, no way, he's burnt me way too many times. Callum Mills is the obvious one that was in my team, if you saw it today in the video. I've been pumping out a lot of content this off-season, I'm not going to lie. Last 2 weeks have been pretty flat out on this channel, so well, the last 2 positions for mid-prices, I feel like I'm missing someone here. Who do we got? No one I really like. Josias, it'd be interesting if he gets a gig. I feel like it's between him, Sam Banks, and Tom Brown at Richmond. I actually don't think I got a final 2 spots for that mid-pricer, to be honest. I think it's not that great. Jacob Blight's 246. That's annoying. That's super annoying. He only played the 3 games. Pretty sure he got subbed off for one of them. Kitty Coleman was the other one, Skizfits, that I have missed. Very good pickup. I forgot about that. Let's just filter this. If you didn't know this, just go to filter on the right-hand side, go Brisbane, and this makes it so much easier. 269. I totally forgot about that. I actually hearing he might be a bit of a late start, hence why I haven't included him to my first draft of my side. All right, I feel like there's one more player I can always give, and then we can move over to the midfield. You know what? Skip it. I'll be looking here all night if I do that. So clear that. We'll go to midfield now. Okay, my screen is still sharing. Skizfits, I've done that many variations on zero hanger team picker for the Tigers. Our backline is stacked. Did you see my best 22 for Richmond video? I did. It only got about 4 likes, mind you, because it's not a Richmond channel that I have here. But that was my best 22 Skizfits. Coleman. Yep. This cat. Does anybody want a free cat? I'm not actually serious, but she's 13 years old, and I've got to do this. What do you want? I've been working for 8 hours. Can you just leave me alone for like 10 minutes? Anyway, mid-price madness for the midfield. I'm gonna shut my door again. My housemate's gonna be home soon. Where are we? I'm just going to double check my screen is filtering through. Anyway, so the midfielders, if I look at those 500k mark mid-prices, which I'm probably not too heavily on, potentially Petrarca could be one if I really had to. I have thought about him considerably. Chad Warner playing for a contract would be an interesting one. Took Miller, no thank you. Jordan Dawson, maybe. Matt Rao and Young burnt us last year, so I think if you owned one of those 2 last year, you wouldn't be interested in those mid-prices in the midfield. We're talking mid-prices aren't really 550, I'm not going to lie, but normally your top end is that 600k player for a reason, because they've barely dipped under the ton for the season. Newcomb and Rosie I'll still put as a mid-price midfielder. It's sort of different in different brackets of the lines, I'd say. Will Day is definitely one on my radar. I don't know why I didn't put him in my team picker today, but it was more a run and gun type team picker. I had a look at it while I was getting some leg sleeves done. I just did finished off my right calf today, and I was going through team picker, gritting my teeth. Every time my Achilles was done, I was not having a fun time. I kept trying to press a button, and then I'd forget about it because I was in a bit of pain. Anyone who's ever tattooed legs, oh my gosh, legs compared to chest and arms, shins and calves really suck. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Corey, I'm sick of only making a team with 3 mid premiums. I think I've been doing that as well, mate. Can't get that 4th. I really want 4, but all the premiums are in my team. Yeah, I feel like this year you got to at least have 12 primos. I haven't actually counted my original sides if on that team picker. My cat just jumped up. She did. There's my cat. A crazy bastard. I haven't actually checked if I've got 12 primos in my team picker that I just released today, so I should probably look at that. But yeah, I think most people will be the same at this early stage, Corey. Now, mid-prices. Darcy Parish, no thank you. He's way too injury-prone. Have a look at the games he's played in the last few seasons. I'm not going to go into it right now. Wardlaw could be interesting if you really wanted to go there. Oliver is not on my radar at all. I cannot say that enough. I do not care. I am happy to fade Oliver. And if he proves me wrong by round 3 and I have a correction trade on him, sure, I'll do it. I'm not going to be in that position where I've got 450k. I'm sitting there going, okay, who can I sideways him to because he's just done 2 80s in a row? Like, where are you going to go? You're just going to go to another mid-pricer that in 2 weeks could do the same as him. So for me, look, if he pumps out 2 120s, then I'm going to free up some cash. I'm going to say Butters. I paid 6 something for Butters and he's done, or 105 and a 103, then I'll happily save the 200k and grab Clary and put that 200k elsewhere. But I'm not going to risk starting Clary and then trying to find someone his price and then maybe potentially use 2 trades just to fix up that 1 pick. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So early days though, like we've got 3 months to think about this, of course. I'm very happy to take Will Ashcroft. I would too. Honestly, I absolutely agree. Shano. I'd take that any day of the week as well. I think you're spot on. Like he won the norm. So anyway, mid-price man is back in the midfield. There's going to be a couple players I miss here, and I do apologise for that. We will skip Will Ashcroft because we've already been talking about him. No, thank you, Hopper. Can't get his body right for me. I don't think in season. Prestia, no way. Any other interesting ones? Tom Mitchell. I can't believe he's still playing, to be honest. Sharp's a winger. No thanks. It was a good cash cow last year. Hopefully people aren't tempted in Fife this year because that was just silly in hindsight. Peatling's one. Could be a smoky at that price. I think he would do all right. Is there any other pure midfielders in here that I'm tempted over as a mid-price selection? I'm actually not looking at mid-prices bar Ashcroft at that 440k odd mark for me. Scrolling through, Isaac Cumming. He's the one that could get that DPP and could set you apart. I think he's one that I will keep my eye on in the preseason if I really wanted to get a bit of a smoky. But yeah, don't see it happening. Don't see it happening at all. Excuse me, sometimes it's good to have a shoot option to trade in the first few rounds. I made up some big ground using 3. Sorry, ground use. Sorry, use the boost. Yep, okay. So you're saying it doesn't matter too much, but then you use a boost and you waste trades early. So I'd rather get my side right with rookies and guns if I really had to than get too many mid prices wrong and then have to fix up my side, because we've seen that before. Fixing up my side early on has really made me play catch up for the rest of the season. I'm a good trader, but I just my season picks of my side sometimes have just been like, what have I done? Why did I listen to not my gut and just other noise around me, I suppose. FPL, I don't know about sub skis fits. Potentially he could be sub, but I don't think they're going to waste a Bentley just on the sub, just sitting there for the whole entire season. I think our subs in Tigers will probably be like your Steely Green types, your small forward, bit of spark. Hopefully not a tall. I can't stand when sides will use a tall as a sub. It makes 0 sense to me. I don't get it. Seen some weird subs over the years, but it should be like a quick midfielder. Maybe not one that racks it up, but one just that has a bit of spice about it. bit of a game changer, or like a small forward that can kick 3 or 4 in the last quarter, which is rare anyway, but something like that. But Prestia probably won't make more than 12 games. He's probably only SuperCoach draft relevant. Not that anyone's mentioning him here like that. Prolonging his season, I do agree. They probably will give him some time there, but not as much as people think, I think. FPL, I'm surprised he's going around again this season. I think we lost too much experience in the off-season for him to go FPL. So our midfield is very slow, though, if you look at it on paper. If you look at my Richmond team review, best 22, we are very slow. Stuff, Clary. Bills boys, hello, welcome back, my friend. I'm using Flynn in my flex position. Feels like he can average 80 at 260k. I think it's not a bad shout. I think a lot of people will be opting this Flynn choice. I just don't know if he gets a gig above some of the other players around him. I know it feels like he obviously does, but I think he's got more competition than what you guys actually think potentially. But for 260, look, if he's named round one, why wouldn't you go there? I've just done an Arvo shift, so I am pretty tired. So if I am butchering this, I do apologise a little bit. FPL, I thought it's possible he could be playing in the backline this season. I don't think he would, FPL. I think he would lack the actual defending capability to be even a halfback flanker. He's not renowned for marking either, so I feel like he'd be a pretty useless halfback flanker for me. I don't even see him as a forward because he's got like a 40, 45 metre kick at best. When I've watched him, like he struggles, and when he kicks goals, they don't like sail very high throughout the post. Like he's not a player I don't think will spend too much time in the forward line or in the back line. Surely just CBAs. I actually prefer him as a stoppage around the grounds midfielder than the centre clearance CBAs, to be honest. I think he reads it better in stoppages than the natural centre bounce. I'd rather Taranto in the centre bounce, even though he can't hit a target. And then, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Hopper. He's just been a waste of money. Shannon, if Peterlin gets a good mid-time in the preseason games, he could be a mid-price option, especially if Laird goes to the halfback role. Agreed. I think that's where they've got to play Laird anyway. So I think it's Peterlin's up for grabs, really. Like, he looked pretty good. His attack on Dawson got way too much coverage. But, yeah, he does look good. I'm just going to sip this Milo or coffee. I don't know which one's which, so I do apologise. It's now cold, thanks to you guys, but it's fine. Nothing worse than having a slight beard and getting milk in there. It's not a fun time. Clayton Oliver is going to average 105. Big call. I reckon, Brad, I'm a believer. I know you weren't last season. Yeah, I wasn't, and you're totally correct. This is what I love about the subs that have been following me for some time now. They know my opinions on certain players, like Tom Stewart, Camden McIntosh, etc. And Clayton Oliver falls into that bracket of almost a never again for me. I will never say never to nobody, but he is pretty much at that point now. When I watched him play, it was one or two things. He looked like he was really interested the whole entire game, or he just didn't care for the entirety of a game. I didn't know which Oliver I was looking at. And obviously it was to do with his scoring. Like the games he didn't look interested. He barely got there in the end. I may as well just had an expensive rookie. And then the games he did play weren't anything to go, all right, I'm going to have to start him next year because he's going to definitely go back to his ways. I just think the off-field issues can affect the player in so many ways that we don't understand. And I think I'd give it another season before considering Oliver. But happy if you prove me wrong. I might be the one that anti-pods him, and you guys are going, it was such an obvious call. Why didn't you pick him? And I'll be like, you know what? I owned him last season. I watched his scoring. My apologies, I got that incorrect. But I'm happy to live by and die by that sword. So no Oliver for me. Back to that team picker. One more mid-price, and then we'll go to the ruck line and have a look at what we can see there. And then forward line, then I'll finish after the forward line. Anyway, Cam Guthrie, I'm just going to throw it up there. It's a disgusting pick. Bloke's injury prone, very injury prone. So for me, probably not. But if you really want to take a pick at 278, you know he's got the role. So you know what he can do there. But it's just, can he seriously get his body right? Like, he hasn't been good in the last couple of years. He's like, he'd be he'd be probably 30 by now, surely. So for me, that is the mid-price madness in the midfield. Now, like I said in my earlier introduction to the midfield, mid-price is a little bit different in each line. So I'm going to clear that line and we'll move to the ruck line. Yes, I want to clear it. All right, so ruck line, I'm not going to talk about mid-price madness in the ruck line. I'm just going to go over the players and what I think. Bills boys, I have a feeling Max Holmes and the Horn Dogs. So he's talking about Jason Horn-Francis from Port Adelaide here. They're going to break out to 110 plus. I like this call. I'd actually, I'd take that bet, but I'd be on your side for the bet. So I like that one. I think that's a good enough prediction for me. I feel like Max Holmes could probably do it a little bit more than what Horn-Francis could. Just because Horn-Francis can give away stupid free kicks, and that could hurt his score early on, especially if he does in the first quarter. The scaling is so bad. If a player has a bad first quarter, it's so hard for them to get a good 3 quarters to make up for it. It's like SuperCoach is against them for the next 3 quarters. Anyway, ruck line. Now, I'll just go over the players a little bit and tell you what I think, what I start and what I not. Max Gawn and Tristan Cherry are the two I really like. Obviously, I like Meek. DeConning, I'm not 100% certain on. He looks like the obvious guy to actually stay on the park for 22 games, but I'm pretty sure he's under an injury cloud right now. So I'm not sure if Pitney will get early games with him, what their plan is. I'd have to pick a Carlton's fan brain to understand what's going on with this pick, but I'm not even sure they would get this right. So DeConning, I'm not too sure. His scoring's good, but without Pitney. Now the other guys, if I clear that team and don't talk about those 4, Meek, doesn't have much competition in that ruck line. He got Ned Reeves or something like that? I'm pretty sure, who I'm pretty certain isn't that great. So Ned Reeves is Meek's competition, but I don't think that matters because Meek was a good player even when he was at Freo. So for me, the next category for the rucks, and I'm not interested in either of these, is Rowan Marshall. Now, I think he'll play a little bit more forward time than you might think. Tim English, no, I can't get on board this pick. I think he'll be sharing ruck duties with Sam Darcy again. Maybe Darcy gets a little bit more ruck time than you imagine. English might spend a little bit more time up forward. And then, if I had to pick a third and a fourth, just outside the box picks, Nank's been pretty consistent, but he doesn't got the greatest midfield to tap to in terms of at least pace. Who would a fourth be? Maybe Darcy Cameron. Maybe Sean Darcy. But I don't even like any of them. If I was playing a draft and this is what's on the board, I'd probably have to go Grundy. But Grundy seemed to play really well at home, but not so great away from memory. I don't know, because I got rid of him after 5 or 6 rounds because I'm an idiot. And then the other rucks. So the remaining, we have a look. Witts, no thank you. He's way too old. Played 16 games last year. Darcy Cameron, look, if Mason Cox is still on that list, isn't he? I don't think I could go there with Darcy Cameron. He plays a lot of time up forward when I'm watching him. Sean Darcy, way too injury prone for me. No thank you. No, he's got a decent fixture at the start, but no way am I touching Sean Darcy. And unless he goes 150 back-to-back before the price rises, I don't think I'm going there. Flynn, R2. I'll have a look at Flynn shortly to cover that one off. Oscar McInerney, no thanks. Kieran Briggs, no way. He was so inconsistent. Luke Jackson, definitely not now that we've got the flex position. I just kissed the mic accidentally then. What are we looking at? Sweets and Soldo, no way. 14 games and 8 games respectively. That would be a roller coaster. Moyle, how is Moyle so expensive? He wasn't as great as what I thought he would be when I watched him in AFL as opposed to what they'd been talking up from. Stanley, Goldstein, White Williams, no way. See, Toby Conway is an interesting one. If he could have a bit of a breakout, and we knew he was the clear number one, would probably go there. Flynn, let's just filter the West Coast rucks to make it a little bit more obvious for you guys out there. West Coast ruckman. So he's got Bailey J. Williams to compete with. Is that really all? I swear there was somebody else, and I can't remember who it was out of these three. Surely if it's one of these three. I feel like Bailey Williams also held his own in the ruck line as well. Maybe I'm overseeing this, but Matt Flynn, maybe he is the flex position player, Bills boys. Maybe I'm overseeing this, but maybe he is the flex. If he's named round one, surely using a rookie ruck that can average you anywhere between 75 to 100. Matt Flynn at the age. How old is Matt Flynn? I'll have to have a look at that later, but maybe one of you guys can tell me. I can't be bothered opening new tabs right now. But he played well against Max Gawn, I'm pretty sure. Bailey J. Williams. But man, if any of those West Coast rookies get a gig too at 119k, that would be very nice for us. I'll unfilter that and I'll have a look if there's any other weird mid prices that we could use. Any that look like they could get a solo ruck. Did I give Nick Bryan? Nah, they got Draper. Damn it. I don't got a good read on Samson Ryan. I don't think Richmond even need to play him. Okay, Corey just said Flynn is 26. That's the cat is still in the show. She lets her in. She lets me go get her twice because she's meowing at the door. Now she's just decided to take the background. At least you guys know I'm not tripping. And there's no one else in the ruck line anyway, so I'm going to clear that. What are your thoughts of the rookie rucks? Who are you guys going in the rookie rucks is what I'd like to know as well. Are you going for like a DPP, like a Archer Reed, or are you going to just go basement? Maybe you'd go a 113 ruck forward here. Sims won't get games early, I don't think. Not sure. Do we just go one of those 99k ruckman here? If we don't get a cash cow, that is. I'm not too sure because we'd have to. We still need a loophole. That's the issue. You still need a loophole for the BC and Cs. So you normally do it in your ruck line, especially if you've got the flex position. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog barking. I think my housemate's home. So I'm going to have to close my door for the 50th time. DPP at the moment. Yeah, okay. So DPP ruckman for you. Yeah. I'd like to make cash everywhere if I could and then just hopefully get a VC and C loophole with 1 or 2 week injuries, but that never really happens. Or debut a player from your club that you support that you think will get debuted at like round 5. That would be a good tactic. I know people have done before. Corey, I'll just go 99k as I don't think we need a DPP for the ruck if we have a third ruckman in the flex. Correct. I agree with that statement, Corey. I think you're spot on there. I'm going to clear that ruck line. Now we go on to the forward line. You guys have been actually retained here. Chuck some more things in the comments. I wouldn't mind just talking a bit of trash here and there. Doing the same strategy. Okay. Yeah. So you're both on board for the 99k ruckman just to use the cash elsewhere in your primos. Shano, if I was doing that tactic, it would be C. Morris. Okay. C. Morris. Who is he? Let me have a look at him. Who the hell is that? I don't even know how much he is or what line he's in because I cannot see him. Oh, right. Sorry. Yep. Now I got you. Marias. Yep. My bad. My apologies, mate. I'm a goose. So you're talking about if you thought a player was debuting in round 4 or 5, that's the tactic you're talking about. My memory was so short then from that turnaround of that question. So you reckon he will be like a round 4, round 5 debut? So essentially you get a VCC loophole and then you get him playing anyway early enough to make you enough cash without having a dead loophole the entirety of the season because you get loopholes throughout the season anyway with like a 1 week injury here and there. And then your rookies get dropped anyway pretty early on. You'll find that like 1 or 2 of them will get dropped, and you use that for most of the season. And then they debut again when you get rid of them. Potentially. All right, Shano. Noted. I'll have to keep a note on maybe like a segment closer to opening round who you guys think will debut round 4 and 5. And I might grab my Whoop whole player from that general consensus. At forward on, I hopefully haven't lost you too much. So now we're going to look at mid prices. I'm definitely going to miss a few, but if you watch my video, you'll know the mid price madness I picked in my forward on. I might go over the non-obvious ones. You could almost go through this whole and forward on. It's kind of crazy. Horn Francis is an obvious starter for most of us, I think. I say obvious, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he was like just F5, F6, and not even F1, 2, or 3. You know, anything's possible with the Hornet, unfortunately. But I'll probably wimp out and just go to big at R3 for the Whoop. Wouldn't blame you either, mate. Wouldn't blame you. Dylan Moore, not interested in. I think he's at the right price. There's no value in it. Rankin, I feel like always has a little bit of upside. Rankin definitely has upside in my eyes. Oh, that's a cold Milo. I need my cold coffee. Bear with me. Bill's Boys just says everyone is going to have the same 4 forwards. I agree. You know you're struggling when you have to have a coffee and a Milo in the same podcast. Stream, whatever you want to call it. Luke Jackson is not relevant now that the flex is available, so don't worry about him as your forward line option. Jesse Hogan, no way am I picking a key forward this season. Nor am I picking a small forward like Brett Daniels. I don't know how he's so expensive. He must have a decent season. Mackay, Cameron, Bullen, no. Baker's interesting. So I might go over some more pottish picks. They might not be too pottish to you guys, but pottish in my eyes. We won't look at the ones that everyone else is looking at. So if I'm starting with 8 of them that we don't really talk about, Baker's number 1. Now, if he gets a halfback, flank role, or midfield role, I think he's pretty relevant. If he plays forward, no thank you. Just ask Skidsfit. He'll tell you not to. Now, another pod, Simpkin. He could be anything if he wasn't so injury prone. Don't think I'll go there, though. But I'm just looking at pods in the forward line that could be that top 6 to top 10 range, potentially. Toby Green could be anything if he actually played a consistent season. That he is getting older. I actually wish they played him more in the midfield for a bit of spark. They kind of need him a little bit more, like that Papley run through the midfield every now and then, because they do feel a little bit one pace at times. Giants for me. So that'd be interesting if he did, because they've got so many small forwards. Why not play Screen in the midfield? Because he can win it, and if he's got it from 50, he's probably taking a punt. Anyway, I'm not the coach for Giants. Mid-price madness. Shai Bolton, if he can get pure midfield or at least 80-20 in the midfield, you're probably picking him. His inconsistencies of his low scores, though, of like 30s and 40s, though, really annoy you every week. So probably not for me. But he does have the ceiling games of like your 130, no worries at all. But just a very selfish player. So good to watch. If you're a Freo supporter, you'll have fun. But as soon as he has a set shot, if he can convert those, he'd be an absolute block for me. He just can't convert set shots enough. Good on the run, though. Kennedy, a pod. I'm actually still weighing up to, do I pick Kennedy? I want to know how many CBAs he gets in a practice game. And does he rest forward or does he rest at half back? Like, what's his go? Pickett. I haven't really thought about Pickett, to be honest. The Melbourne Pickett we're talking about, obviously. My dog's barking. I'm just going to have to close this door. Sean Manor. No. Elijah Hollins could be a smoky. Can you guys hear my dog barking its head off at my... Let's just go to my dog for a second and tell her off, and I'll go through these players. I'm sorry, you guys are going to come with me to a house tour. Excuse me. Noah. Niles. What are you barking at? This is my dog. Now, stop it. She's obsessed with barking at everyone at the moment. Now, it's because my housemate's home, so she's going nuts. Anyway, I'll have to get her in later, or else she's going to really piss everybody off. So, excuse the language. I can't win. Who said to get a cat and a dog? What do you do in the off-season, Brad? Yeah, no worries, mate. I just got a dog, a couple calf sleeves, and now I've got too many animals. Mid-price madness in the forward line. Then I got to get the dog in and go to sleep. I can't get the dog in. Robert, it's barking its nut off and it won't come to me right now. She's only like 1 year old, so she's a bit nuts. Oh, man. Because I pick it, no thanks. McRae, we're all looking at already. Parker might be a bit of a pod potentially. So I'm going to put him in there anyway, and I'm going to find 2 more players that I think could be poddish. No way. No way for Jack Graham. Just can't get his body right, so let's not go for Jack Graham. We might do this podcast outside in a minute. Darcy Wilson could be a smoke in the forward line. Is there any other forwards I like here? Not really. Pod forwards, by the way, not the ones everyone's going to start. Mansell, have to put Mansell in just for my dad. But unfortunately, Mansell, if you're watching, he's not going to play midfield, so don't do it. Mid prices that I think would be pods. I think Philippi would be popular, so we won't go there. Jacob Bauer could be second fiddle to Tom Lynch, so he's a potential. I've got to get this dog inside, but he's one that could be okay for 216 if you want to elevate a rookie. But I think there's Isaac Kako and players like that will just get as many games. Give me 2 seconds to get this dog. Hopefully my internet doesn't go. Niles, come here. She's just walking away from me. Nala, come here. Niles, anyone know how to train a dog to come inside without it? It's a Kelpie / red nose. So it just wants to round up sheep, I suppose, but I don't have any sheep. Come on, come inside. Show everybody what you look like. You probably can't see her in the dark, actually. Niles, come here. We're doing the podcast out here now. Thanks to you. Are you coming? All right, I'm going to have a look at some more players, and then I'm going to have to sign off and get this dog inside. Clear the team. What is your flex selection? So in the comments below, chuck us what your flex is. So maybe we can have a bit of a discussion. Are you looking at the Ruck line? Because that was popular early on. I think everyone has just run and taken the same opinion now that it's been mentioned pretty early in the team picker since flex was announced. But it seems like the obvious choice. If you're going to use the flex, you're going to use it for the Ruck as like a cash gen Ruck or as a third premium Ruckman. But hopefully just get enough rookies that make cash early on and we can have a completed side by like around 11, round 12 would be nice. It seems to always be like after the buy, so you get a proper side rounded up. But I'm hoping for a fast start because the last 2 seasons I've had a bit of a slow start. Bills boys, Flynn or gone. Come on, Niles, come here. Come into the podcast. You ever seen a dog in a SuperCoach podcast? Because you've seen a cat. Go on. Come here. I swear, if you ever get a dog from a shelter, they are hard work sometimes. Niles. Let's see if you can see her. I don't know how to see. I don't know if you can see that at all. That's a terrible angle. But yeah, the team picker is coming out, and then for non-subscribers, it comes out like a month later, I believe. But the preseason games, I think, are going to be the most important. Not saying that you're going to base off your selection off the one round set of rounds that we do have, but I think at least that will give us a clear idea of if we're definitely going to start that player. Mind you, those preseason games seem to be a lot more uncontested because they're trying to get through injury-free. So for me, I'm probably just going to make sure that any player I do pick is always in my my draft team that I do, like a team picker, like let's say I do a team picker once a month as a scheduled video, whatever players I have in the team picker that have made the cut every single time, I will start those players instead of being thrown off by one game. So if I have like, let's say we do 14 pickers between now and round one, and let's say Butters gets nominated 4 times out of 4, I'm going to pick him based off that, not based off that one game that I see late Feb, and let that change my whole primo structure. So that's how I'm going to do my side this year, based more off instinct than a one-game sample size. Because sometimes in years gone past, that preseason game or that round 0 game as well has kind of thrown me off a little bit and hindered my side, I feel, and hasn't really helped at all. It's actually done the opposite instead of listening to my gut. Dog inside would be nice, though. I should have tried to get her in before. At the moment, I'm flexes Tom Green. That is a wild left field flex player, Shane. One I haven't really considered. It seems like the goes everyone is a ruck. Yeah, I think it is at the moment. Tom Green's interesting. Tom Green falls under that Matt Rao consideration. Like, you want to go there, but you know you've been burnt before, and it was only just last season that it happened. Also, Tom Green looked a bit out of place in the games that were quick. I know that sounds really strange, but what I mean by that is some of the fast-paced games, it looked like you couldn't get near it because he's not a quick player at all. He's more contested, of course, and those contested players seem to be a little bit slower. So for me, I think the Zach Butters, Nick Dacos type of players stay in more games than your big, bull sort of players like your Paddy Cripps, etc. Mind you, just won the what do you call it, the brown eye. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the next generation of these players coming through too are better than your bonds that are eventually going to decline. So those Sarongs, those Brayshaws, those guys that, between, say, 21 and 25, 26 years old are the players I want to be picking in my side more than the guys that are sort of 28 to 32. That's how I look at it. But every year I end up picking guys that are getting seamlessly older anyway. Yeah, I'm not set on that for sure. Yeah, no, I wouldn't blame it. It still could be a really good flex position placeholder anyway. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if SuperCoach release the percentage of what the flex has been used at in terms of position. Like, is it 90% of players are using flexes that as a ruck spot, 10% midfield, and 0% everywhere else? Like, I don't know how people are going to use it, but we probably have a little bit too many trades for me. I know it sounds a little bit opinionated. I don't think we actually needed the flex as anything new. Like, I feel like if it's not broke, don't change it. So I understand the flex been brought in for like a late change, but that makes up the difference between you and a lot of the competition. When people own Tom Green and he scored that 5 and did that ankle, I made some ground. Now that everyone's got a flex player, we're not going to make ground on those teams that have one injury in the round that are highly owned on those players. So a bit of a maybe unpopular opinion, but I don't think we necessarily needed the flex. I think it actually just was there potentially for like more of the novice, the beginner players that sort of got annoyed and dropped off throughout the season, going, nah, too many injuries in the rounds. I'm going to jump off because there's no point trying to fix my team when it's 70k rank. And like the 40 trades and the boost, either I'm not a massive fan of either of those things. I think I preferred it a bit more when it was like 30, 36 or whatever it was trades and no boost. The boost, I don't know. I think the boosts are overrated, to be honest. I know this is going to be a little bit unpopular opinion, but I kind of wish they just left SuperCoach the way it was about 4 or 5 years ago now. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a weird take. I've never been the kind of one to just jump on board and go, yeah, new change is great. This is how it should be. I've always kind of been like, if it's not fixed, don't break it. Just my opinion, though. I think they should have just left it because becoming a little bit more like AFL fantasy where you just get almost feels like unlimited trades because you can trade most weeks if you were pretty conservative and didn't use boost as well early on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my entirety thought of it. Maybe I like flex because my ranking might be a little bit better from this updated change, but I'm just going to close the door once more. The dog has stopped barking. So yeah, that's my take on it. I know other people will be like, yeah, glass half full approach, but I'm not normally pessimistic about the flex. But anyway, it is what it is. We've got to adapt and hopefully just make it our sides better because of that position. But whatever. Luke Parker, a pod. I think he might be. I know it sounds really strange, but I think he might be a pod. I think people oversee him this year and look past him because of his age and because he's gone to North. And I think he actually will be in less than, I'm going to say less than 12% and over 8%. So I think it'll be poddish FPL. That would be my guess. I could be wrong. He could be like a 25% owned player just because of the name. But I think he'll be between 8 and 12%. We'll find out closer to Jan, I suppose. Corey, it'd be pain though if two players got injured. Yeah, it would be, but you need it. You need to bridge the gap somewhere. So I, if two players get injured, you need a rank boost somehow, and I hope they're two popular players. Excuse me. Dog is barking. I need to get this dog in early in round one. Shano, way too many trades. I agree, my friend. The game is Cardiff for newbies. Agreed. And it's frustrating. I agree with all 3 points. But I'm getting old, I guess, and I've been playing for ages. I agree, mate. I'm 33 years old, and I actually like it how it was a while back now. But it is what it is, Shane. I guess we do got into that being a little bit older. Robert, it would be cool if they release a SC Classic version. I totally agree. I was actually about to go along this line. They should actually release 2 versions of SuperCoach. One being SuperCoach Classic, where you've almost got like 30 trades or something crazy, and a separate prize for that. And then you'll find you get the more hardcore SuperCoach players, as opposed to the ones that just want to play because it's something new this year, and then they'll probably never play again, potentially. I'm a bad multitasker, though. I'm not one of those guys that has a potty for like fantasy because I have SuperCoach Fantasy and SuperCoach Classic. I can only retain one. I'll play SuperCoach Draft with you guys closer to the date. I'll release I don't know how many spots, maybe 11 spots because I do like a 12-man draft. And the lucky 11 will do a draft with me. But if you want to DM me for that too, especially the ones that I've known on my regular live streams, I can hold 2 or 3 spots from the regs that want to do a draft with me. We could potentially even do a prize pool for SuperCoach Draft. So basically, draft is still on your app of SuperCoach, but once a player's been picked, you can't pick them, and it goes in like a snake order or whatever order. So you got, let's say you got 12 teams. I can't remember how many players you select in a draft, but then you get waiver wire options. So you get players that were never picked in a draft, and you can bring them in your side. So I wouldn't mind doing a draft with you lot because I didn't do draft last year, and I think that would be a bit of fun on the side as well. And it'd also help you for your classic side because you'd be looking at pods that you pick over the waiver wire and you've held throughout the season, and you could also pick them next year because you've been watching them in your draft side. So I think draft is a very underrated skill because it actually opens your eyes out for players you probably wouldn't have looked at and probably not mentioned. Anyway, flex was not needed. Agreed, Shane. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'll have to have a listen to these other team pickers and see if these other guys or girls or whoever has agreed on this point, or if they've been like, yeah, the flex is good, and for what reason. I'd love to know what their thoughts are and if they like or do not like it. My battery is low. I'm going to plug this in or else we're going to die. Well, I'm not going to. The laptop is. And there would be no podcast. Okay, battery is saved. You were about 3 minutes away from being disconnected and all your questions were going to go. What do you think of the new mic too? Is it okay? It's from Audi. It's actually meant to be for like your mobile phone, but I thought I'd plug it in here just to see if it's a little bit better than my MacBook mic. It would be Robert. Back to 20 odd trades and no boost. I think it was something like that, wasn't it? Way back when. Yeah, and now you guys are showing your ages. Bills boys, damn, Richmond has a combined 19 Brownlow votes. That's crazy. Surely the double next season. I haven't thought about that, Bills boys, and I am ashamed to say that it was 19. That's wild. That's not good. FPL, I think it's a historical draft would be a good idea. For example, have a SC draft from, say, W. Interesting take, FPL. Corey, I've played for like 7 or 8 years. That's a long time. I think I've been playing for a very similar amount of time, maybe slightly more. And I remember 30 trades for like 4 years. Is that all it was? My memory is no good, so you probably know better. I've only been playing serious for probably about since I started the channel. Before that, I never really played serious. And then I did I did channel around COVID, and then I got really serious about it. Before that, I just wanted to win the 1K that you can win during a week. I did not care. Now I've got a channel. I've almost got 500 subs, and I'm actually. I reckon last year I was about to pull the pin. Right? I don't know. I've told some of you guys this, and then I discovered live streams. I found a new love for content creating again. Because I didn't really care so much about the team previews and the team reviews because there wasn't much interaction with you guys. The minute I jumped on a live stream, I was like, you know what? We'll go for another couple of seasons and see where it takes us. So, and now I can share my SuperCoach team as well on the screen. So, not bad for a guy that finished score 09. FPL, say from 2006 or 99 players, for example. That would be an interesting one to do actually for draft. Now I actually understand the concept you're talking about. Shano, it was 24 some years back. Wow. Okay, Shano. That's must have been like 15 years ago or something. Corey, I'm so good at the draft. Get sneaky. I'm good at draft too. I'm a very good draft player. Anyways, Corey says I'm so good at the draft. Get the sneaky players. I always win. Like I picked Durham when he went well, and no one was on him. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Shano, Mike sounds pretty good. I'm glad. You know what? Audi. Who doesn't love those little Audi bins in the middle? You know that big section where every Audi has something different in the middle of them? I picked up this bad boy there. $40. Don't have to get one of these $150 mics. Or maybe when I get to 1,000 subs, and maybe I'll get one of those fancy ass mics. But for now, $40 Audi one, I'm set. So that's where we're running things anyway. I've got to hold it up, which is slightly weird, but it's whatever. It's better than using my MacBook, I suppose. We've been running for an hour. We've had about 20 of yous to 15, 20 of yous. So I've actually been good tonight. And I think it's obviously for the picker being out today. So it's been sturdy. And I've noticed all the guys are back. 95% of you are from last season, just gone 2024 season and seasons beyond. So good to have you guys back. Glad you're still subbed because that's why you would have got the notification at 10:30 at night and you guys are still not asleep. Hopefully you guys don't have 6 a.m. shifts tomorrow because I don't. Who do you think is most likely to get 200 this year? There we go. SuperCoach relevant question. Probably the Bont, mate. Bont, Trishan Cherry, Max Gorn. 1, 2, and 3. Lockie Neal, I think, will come close, but I don't think he'll quite do the double ton. I think it's more of a Ruckman's dream. If a Ruckman gets an easy matchup and this has a day out, I feel like they're normally pretty good for this sort of shout. Or if a midfielder can kick 4 or 5 goals and rack up 30-something plus, we're looking at a good score. You generally don't see too many 200s during the season, though. Like, you might only see, like, definitely less than the fingers on your hands. Hopefully you got all your fingers on your hands. Hizwa. I hope I said that right, mate. Thoughts on Smiley? If you looked at my side, my 6-minute team picker side, even if you pause the video, you'll see it in the midfield. I'm pretty sure I had Smiley at around M9, so I do like him. I think he's got a better shot at debuting than what Layla does early on, in saying that they could probably both debut round 1 because it's just, that's what you expect from a round 1 pick, I suppose. But I think Smiley will play the most games in that Richmond rookie draft that we just had. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Smart. He's locked into my side, mate, and I'm a Richmond supporter, so that should probably say it all. Nick Dacos, if we're talking about the double ton, yeah, I see it. I definitely see it. FPL. Bill's boy also agrees with you, mate. Dacos. All of you guys seem to be on the same wavelength when we have these sort of comments, actually. Corey, do you reckon anyone will get a negative score and join the Samson Ryan club? No, I don't think we'll actually ever see that again. Ever. I don't think that will happen unless it's an injury-affected game. So no. I think that was a once-off, and that's why I can never forgive Samson Ryan every time I look at him selected on the Richmond lineup. Dacos for a 200. I think he could get there. He could definitely get there. I'm still more confident in the others that I mentioned. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sam Darcy on 200. That's a wild call, Robert. Hey, is that the Robert off The Office? I feel like it is. Let me know, Robert. Is that the face? It's very hard to see thumbnails sometimes. Shayna, here we go. Can we load up on rookies in midfield in your opinion? Yes, I think we can, Shayna. I think there'll be enough to load up on. And generally midfield rookies score better than most rookies in the Lions anyway. So do I think you can have 4 though? I actually do think you can this year. I think we'll see some midfield rookies come through that you like, you know what, I can select them. So yes, I do think you can get 4. Jagger, Sid Draper, Smiley, Ashcroft. They're the 4 I'd probably select to be on my field happily. So those ones, mate. Robert California, yes, I am the Wizard King. Office. Now, in the comments below, American version or English version? What are your thoughts? What is the best? I didn't even give the English version time of day because the American version was so far funny that I didn't want it to ruin my opinion on The Office. So for me, it's got to be Michael Scott, the American version. We've completed 1 mile and 1 coffee. I think we got through this potty all right. Corey says US office all the way. Also, there's an Aussie version now. Is the Aussie version bad as I think it could be? Because there's only one really good TV series that's really funny. That's Aussie, in my opinion. That's that Jermaine girl, or whatever. It's actually a guy dressed up as a chick in that. He's wearing a school uniform. Then he's a teacher, and then is it Chris Lilly or something like that? He's a weird unit. But he's funny, and I think they had like a Netflix series as well. It's just really random. I forget what shows he did. It's like that one actor playing different roles, and he's Aussie. And I think they canned it on Netflix for some reason. But I can't imagine an Aussie version of US Office would be funny. Summer Heights High. That is the one I'm thinking of, Corey. Thanks for that comment below. I'll get that in a sec. Shannon says, cheers for that. I'm off now, mate. Good little stream. Catch you later. No worries, Shannon. Thanks for your involvement tonight. Look forward to seeing you around again. I'll catch you later, Shannon. I'm about to jump off shortly soon anyhow. Jack, sorry that I couldn't join much. It's okay. Replay this 1 hour potty and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Jack, I'll have to shoot you a message soon anyway, mate. So, Corey, Summer Heights High is so funny too. It's unbelievably funny, mate. I cannot get over it. That is the one I'm thinking about, FPL. It's definitely the one. Chris Lilly is a funny bastard, mate. Much of the stream, mate. Just got off the plane. Just watch. Did she? She lost the bag down an escalator and almost knocked over a lady. That would have been very entertaining to watch. So many things I can say at this point, but I do not want to get cancelled on my YouTube. I have pretty dark humour, so there's a lot of things I can't say that sometimes you want to say, but you don't know how monetized you are on these live streams, or you don't want to get reported. So there's some things that I don't tend to read in the streams early on in the season. Like sometimes we have a late night chat, and I won't upload that video because if we have gone some rabbit holes in the past. But I've been pretty good on these live streams of late. I haven't gotten to any wild loopholes at midnight or nothing. So We've been good. We've been good. Oh, speaking of rabbit holes, don't get me in trouble with your boys. He says you're gonna have that boxing match with JD this year, Brad. I don't know what you're talking about, Bills boys. I don't know what you're talking about. Boxing match. Um, for you that don't know, been boxing for some time and Muay Thai. But at the moment, I'll be honest, I've only been going to the gym. I just signed up for Derriments, which was like $270 for the year at the time. So I'll be doing that for the next 9 months, just working on gym stuff, I suppose, and then I'll go back to Muay Thai or boxing or maybe MMA again at some point. But I've already been training for like 15 years overall for like that martial art department. Um, so it's nice just to do gym and just try to get some size instead of getting punched in the face and kicked in the head. Okay, Jack, what do you got for me? I reckon you should do a few more live streams with Damo this year. He's a good fella. Yeah, he is. I'll definitely have to get around to that. I've had a few suggestions. I know Damo's one of them that you guys want me to jump on. Steve is one of the ones I regularly do podcast stuff with, especially that segment Jump On, Jump Off. Shorty's one, I got to get back to his house. I'll leak his address. I'll get in there. And I'll do a stream of him because got along with him like a house on fire. And we couldn't even keep up to the comments. When I went to his house, he's got this mic set up. His computer's too close to his bed. There's not a lot of space in Shorty's room, so I don't know how he gets those lovely ladies over. But anyway, we're sitting there, and the comments from you guys were going nuts. If you haven't watched that stream already, go back to Shorty's live streams and find my shaved head. I shaved my head at the time. I was wearing a jacket, a gold chain. Kind of look like a 20-cent M&M version, I guess. Anyway, we're doing a potty there, and I was getting so distracted because of the amount of stuff that you guys were saying. I was getting called names and stuff, and did Shorty's goal kicking with him for the last 2 seasons, I think, and that's how I met Steve from SDS. If you haven't checked out his channel, I'm sure you already have. But yeah, so it's been good meeting a few of the content creators and doing some potties with him, and actually meeting him in person as well. Getting off into tangents sometimes, but yeah, that's what these potties are for, Robert. Get your old man on. Oh my god, Robert. That'd actually be funny. He actually hates it when I say get stuffed. So the other day, right, I made a video. I think I told Freo to get stuffed. He doesn't like any sort of, it's not even language, but doesn't like any of that. He goes to me, Brad, could you stop saying get stuffed? So if you haven't noticed, I don't swear too much in any of my videos in case he's watching. I try to be respectful because there could be lads like out there that are like, this guy swears too much and off-putting, so don't listen to him. And I totally understand that and respect that. And I do it for me old man. So if you don't hear me swear too often, it's because of him. So try to be respectful to the majority. And then if you look at the people that watch, like you don't know if they're like, under 18 and you're just thinking, oh, don't want to be bad influence as well. So it's hard to keep a balance sometimes. FPL, what about a pod with DR? That would be nice. I think I have to join a queue though, FPL, for DR. Although I do have him in the DMs, so I could work something out with him. But I'd love to. I think I got starstruck last time I did a pod with him. I think I did a pod in a hotel, separate to Steve and DR, and I felt like I was watching them instead of contributing at some point as well because I was just like, oh my god, it's DR. That was fun, but yeah, definitely have to get on with DR again. He's definitely up there for sure. Jack, or you can get me. Yes, this would be good actually. This is a very good one. And a few of the regulars to jump on. That's a good suggestion. Actually, not saying I hadn't considered that, but that is a very good idea because especially the ones that have been here for a few years, and know their stuff as well. Like it'd actually be a lot of fun. It'd probably get out of hand, not gonna lie. But well, you guys don't follow me on Twitter or X, if you ever want to do something like that. Now I know I haven't been on the PlayStation, so I've got to apologise to one person in particular, and that's Crazefit. I was meant to jump on Fortnite for the last few months. He added my PlayStation name, whatever you called it, your gamer tag. And I haven't been on since. He sent me his team tonight, via the DMs on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I just haven't even got around to playing PlayStation with some of these lads because obviously I've got a son that I have every couple of weekends over. I work some Saturdays and stuff, so life's pretty busy at this age. In my 20s, had all the time in the world. Now it just seems like I've got no time to do nothing. Like I barely even get to play Xbox very much. Get a week off next week though, so that would be good. We'll get the team picker over Christmas week. And that week will go so fast, and I'll start again. Then I'll have New Year's Eve off and New Year's Day off, and then back to it, packing milk. Surprising that there's good money in some of these warehousing jobs. So like really good money. You don't even have to be qualified, and you're getting some insane money, especially on afternoon shift. I tell you what, very physical job though. Back's always sore, shoulders always sore from carrying the team as well. But anyway, can't complain. What do we got, Corey? Can't wait to watch NFL on Netflix on Boxing Day rather than cricket. Didn't even know the NFL was on Netflix. What the hell? Yeah, right. Okay. Is it? What? What is this? How do I not know about this? Maybe because I don't watch it off Netflix. But okay, I'm on board. Before I do jump off, is there anything good on Netflix or Stan that I should be watching that I haven't? Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in my notes for the week I do have off. I'm going to watch a few of these and come back to you guys and say if they're good or not. Because I have to write the names beside the suggestions too. Because if they're bad, I'm going to remind you in our next live stream. But I might do a live stream if I can get a hold of maybe like a Christmas Day or something. See if everyone's awake, like a late night, Christmas night live stream when everyone's had a few beers or something. I don't know. That could be a bit wild though, to be honest. It's only on for that date. Yeah, okay. Glad you mentioned that. Scott Walker's back. Scotty, mate. It's been a while since I've seen your name floating in. Now, if you don't think I don't remember your names, I feel like I retain 95% of your names. I've not seen you in a while, mate. Welcome back. Corey, Cobra Kai. See, this is one, all right? I got into this a little bit, but here's my opinion, Corey, and this is going to be, might offend a few people that do karate. When I first did any martial art, it was like a hybrid of karate and MMA. It was down in Heathmont in where the eastern suburbs, you'd say, of Victoria. I think it was called Ultimate, something like that. Ultimate something. It might be still around. Now, I'm not bad mouthing this at all, but when we were doing the punches and the katas and stuff, they felt very slow, right? Very this wishy-washy, whatever the heck is going on here. Anyway, I went to boxing after that. I remember sparring some people, did some karate. I won't mention which brand because I actually worked for them for a period of time. Now, I'd been boxing for a couple of years and I absolutely smoked them, like no competition. Like we had this little square little arena on mats. I did not throw a single kick, and apparently one of them was a what do you call it? A 15 or whatever the hell. So it's like 5 black belts, and one was something beyond that as well. And I'd only been boxing for 3 years and smoked them both. So after that, I could never really get into any karate shows just on how outdated they are in terms of realistically, if you're versing someone that can actually fight Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, whatever, BJJ, they're going to smoke majority of those karate guys. Like you look at those karate guys too that seem to be very, very unfit, but they've got a black belt. Doesn't add up. You know, and a lot of them it's because a lot of them are so traditional that you're passing your belts by carters. And for me, it just doesn't make sense. Like you learn more in sparring than what you do in any other form of fighting. But I had watched it, and yeah, it was not the bad. The first season or two, I did like it, but anyway, after that, kind of never watched those kind of shows. Hopefully, no one's offended by that. I do apologise if anyone is offended by that. FPL. What sort of things from Netflix do you like watching? I don't mind docos, but they got to be short docos. Like if they're docos, they got to be like a 3-piece one. Like I don't mind those murder mysteries and stuff like that, as long as they get straight to the point. I can't sit there for 12 episodes going, "What the hell is happening?" I'm more of a thriller kind of guy. If you ask me what genre of movie I like or what series, are thrillers. Thrillers for me. Something that's intense, not horror. Horror's too gory for me sometimes. I can't look at. There's no storylines in horrors a lot of the time. But give me a good thriller for me. So anything that thriller bracket that you've got suggestions for, throw them in. Jack, saw your new tattoos you sent me. Looks sick. Yeah, Dad's gonna hate this, but he already knows. All right, so he's not a fan of them whatsoever. So he even said to me today in on text, he was like, "It's better when you wear t-shirts in your podcast and live streams." I was like, "Okay, noted, Dad." Doesn't like me wearing singlets in any podcast. Also, yeah, just very strict man when it comes to this kind of stuff. So when I first revealed 2 tattoo arm sleeves, not a happy camper. Then I haven't shown him my leg sleeves now. And when I do see him next, and I'll be in shorts because it is summer, he's going to have a heart attack. He's going to be like, "Why do you have to be like Dusty?" So I did my left calf into a sleeve. So I got both legs done from my ankle all the way to my knees and then like a wrap around. So, and I've done a lot of my chest as well. So if anyone tells you tattoos don't hurt, they're full of it. But thanks, Jack. They look better when they're healed because they tend to like take a lot longer to heal than what they do on your arms. Scott Walker, go Tigers! Good to see you, mate. Good to see you too, Scott. Glad you're back. Hopefully you saw my best 22 Tigers video. I don't normally do Tigers content on my SuperCoach channel, but it was just more of a fill gap. It was a 4-minute video, so if you haven't checked that out, Scott, it's in my previous video from a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. Richmond's best 22 in my opinion. But now we're just doing from here to February. We'll do team picker, and then I'll probably do a review on each of the games. So when we have that Amy Community Series, end of February, I believe, I'll review each game and talk about the SuperCoach relevant players and discuss them. And then have a look at the rookies closer to debut as well. So I don't know, maybe you guys have some suggestions in the comments if you're watching this now or when it gets uploaded, but maybe give me some comments in there that you'd like videos of. Do you want me to have a look at specific, who are my top 6 in each line, who are my top 6 pods, but actually give you proper reasons, not just picking them in there just to give you guys a quick flick. But if you want more content, suggest more things, and I'll do them. I'll write them down. Because it is hard to make some stuff up in the preseason when you're waiting 3 long months for it to start. Prison Break is pretty good. I actually should watch that because I remember seeing that when I was like 10. I don't know if I was actually 10, but it seems like a very long time ago. And I'm pretty sure I saw it on Stan on Netflix. So that's one I'll actually write down and watch from the get-go, mate, FPL. The flex position, what about, Scott? Who are you going to use the flex position for? Are you going to use a ruck? Are you going to use a midfielder? Are you going to use a cash cow? Or is it going to be both? My team pick is still up there and it's just blank. And I totally forgot that it was chilling there because I'm still sharing my screen. But this is what I want to do. Oh, okay. So I want to click onto that and do a draft, as I was saying, with you guys next year. Or, you know what I mean? So I don't know how I'm going to, if that gets filled up real quick, it's going to actually annoy me because I actually want to take some time and actually give some of the guys that regularly comment a first crack at it. And then I can get the bragging rights to beating you guys in a draft or you guys beating me. Scott, I was thinking Ruck. I think that's the general consensus there, mate. So, yeah, I just wanted to see what you were thinking. So, good to know. I wonder if that would change come round 1. If we're thinking else, something that we've missed. Like, is anyone thinking of using as an extra defender or forward? I don't even know. And you can't see the percentage of people that have picked that player yet either, I don't think. But 31 players, same salary as last year. So most players got like a 3% discount. Was it something like that? Something pretty small. So what, an extra 300k to play with a spare player? I feel like it might be a little bit mid-price madness in the forward line. Hopefully I get a few pods before round 1 because my team pick, it didn't look like it had as many pods as I probably alluded to. It's probably because I couldn't afford the ones I wanted To be fair, but we all do this mid-price madness at the start of the season, pre-season, I should say. And then we end up going guns and rookies because the amount of rookies that come through anyway. So it's a little bit hard to predict at this point. Still some time to go through Scott Walker and mid prices because there's plenty of. I don't know if this would be stealing an idea, but I know there's the coaches panel that do 50 most relevant. I'm wondering if I should do my own 50 most relevant players or SuperCoach and count from 50 all the way to 1, or if they will think I'm completely stealing their idea, because I kind of am. But that would be my own research for these players, not copying theirs per se. And I'd probably have a total different top 50 to what they would, in terms of my thinkings for SuperCoach players. So consider doing like a top 50 countdown. I'm not sure if I'd get every day, but maybe every second day, 50 to 1 players, SuperCoach relevant, and maybe just like a 5-10 minute video on them. That could be a suggestion I'll do in the preseason. And I want to get to 500 subs. So if you haven't subbed already, get me to 500. And then whoever's 500, if it gives me the notification or if they screenshot it, maybe I give out a prize. If we get to 1,000, I have to definitely do something. Like, that's a no-brainer. 500 and 1,000, they're 2 milestones that I want this year. Would be nice. Corey, what is annoying to me is Zach Williams 40-50% discount and Bailey Smith Coleman Doherty get only 10%. That is weird. How much is Zach Williams right now, Corey? If he's under 300, what the heck? I swear I saw that thumbs up. I'm not sure what's going on with my Oh no, you've done another one. My apologies. FPL, I would be using my flex for someone who who will impact scores rather than cash builder. You could also use that flex position for someone who's got a high ceiling and a low floor, like a Shai Bolton. Yeah, Zach Williams last year. That's what I meant. Okay. Yeah, now I follow you, Corey. My apologies for that. Excuse me. Nothing worse when you got like 50 coughs built up and you haven't had any for the whole entire day, neck minute. They're just sitting there waiting for you. I tell you what, it's been a pretty good night, right? So we didn't finish production until 10 p.m., which is right on when we go home. So we'll pack and milk right up until 10 p.m. They expected us to stay back and clean. I was like, you know what? I've got to do it for the streams. I've got to do it for the people that have been waiting for a good live at 10 o'clock at night to go home early, not do an hour of overtime, and just get on to a stream while you guys are playing around the picker. Before I do go, give me some pods, and maybe I have a look into them and do. But if you want a pod and you don't want me to speak about it, I get that too. But maybe give me some pods, and maybe I might do some videos just purely on pod mid-price madness players would be all right. I've got a couple ideas I will throw, but I also might do a live stream here and there with another guest, because that's more entertaining than just by myself sometimes. Although you guys seem to pump out questions anyway. FPL down under, that's a good idea. We haven't seen how Shai will be used at Freo. I feel like it's going to be a 50-50 split FPL, hence why I haven't touched him. If I feel like it's 80-20 and Longmire says that. Wait, no, is it Longmire? I'm drawing blanks, so many blanks at the moment with footy. Look, if he says that Bolton's 80% of the guts, I'm picking him. Excuse me. Corey, for me, I really like, since September, Brett Daniels as a pod. That is definitely a pod. Brett Daniels. Brent Daniels, I should say. That is beyond a pod. How old is he? I don't mean that in a bad way, by the way, Corey. Brent Daniels. You guys will find this faster than what I do, but it's whatever. He's only 25 years old, Corey, so he's in the bracket. Me and him are almost the same height, Corey. Not that you care, but that's pretty random. I'm probably about 8 kilos heavier than him, unfortunately. I've been seeing too many HSPs of late. Interesting. His last 2 seasons, I see it's a bit of a breakout. So he's gone from let's go a third season back. He's gone from 57 average to 75 to 85 average. So what's he jumped up? 18 and 10 points in the last 2 seasons. What's his scoring like? What was his final series like too? Holy heck. I almost said something else then. That would have killed me. Round 23, he scored a 195. That is crazy. Round 20, a 132. Round 17, a 125. He's got a high ceiling. That is actually not a bad pick. Maybe even as a flex position pick. Because he does tend to have 50s and 60s in there. His floor's not as bad as I thought, Corey. He's got a floor of 59. No, 52 was his worst game. Interesting. Very interesting pick, Corey. That is a huge pod. Hugh McGuire is a pod. One of my mates who hates Serena. Serena hates his name, McCluggage. Every time we do a multi, she's like, I hate that name. I'm like, I know. I think about it every time everyone mentions it now, thanks to you. So that's nice. She's come back from overseas. I've missed her like 6 months. Girl best mate. She's finally back. Got in today. Hopefully I see her this weekend because it's been a long time. McCluggage. Yeah, okay. Since 2020, McCluggage 101, 100, 103, 93, 98. He's 27 by March, so that could be something FPL. Just wonder how much like wing time he gets compared to pure midfield time FPL. Scott Walker, new club for Daniels too. What? Did he really? Am I tripping here? Where did Brett Daniels go? He's still playing for Giants. He was always playing for Giants, wasn't he? I think you're thinking of Caleb Daniels Scott here. Because we're talking about Brent Daniels, not Caleb Daniels Scott. If that's what you're talking about. Apologies if you're not. Corey, I can't believe we've been doing this for an hour and a half, by the way, mightn't you? Well, Stringer. Sorry, well, with Stringer. Yeah, mid-time. Interesting for Stringer. For me, more, if Stringer was a little bit younger, I'd consider it. And he wasn't so injury prone as well. I'd probably consider Stringer. Very left field. I keep nosing into the mic and kissing the mic a couple times, unfortunately. FBL, he means Caleb Daniel. I thought he did too. I thought he meant that. Yep, sorry. It's alright, mate. It's fine, Scott. Don't worry at all. You made me trip though, because I was like, have I not been following footy closely this off season or what? Maybe I should get rid of this beard. It's getting itchy right now. I need some beard balm. Corey, I meant Brent Daniels got mid-time, helps with Stringer. Okay, I misread your question. I feel like an idiot now. That's why his score was elevated. Okay, that makes more sense. And if that's why I'll have to have a look at these CBAs. So let's have a quick look at these CBAs. CBA's DFS is what we're going through. Did his CBAs increase, Corey? Is that what you're on about? I'd share this screen, but I can't be bothered opening a new tab. What do we got? Brent Daniels. I can't even see him in there. Okay, all right. He didn't get as much as I'd like to see there, Corey. He averages 8% midfield for the year. It did increase in the back end. Like he's got a game there in 26%, 20%, 33%, 44% was his highest, and that was round 10. Interesting. You guys definitely will get players that not even I've considered, which is good because you gotta be onto that kind of stuff. Rob That's wild. I'm not going to repeat that one, but yeah, you can read it on screen. Funny bastard. You know I'm on. Oh mate, imagine I just like on stream just pulled out a fat J. Just I probably wouldn't last too long on the podcast. I get banned, and I probably wouldn't be able to see my laptop if I did that. Medical one. I feel like medical. A lot of people getting a lot of medical stuff. If we know what we're on about in the comment section below. Dimmer, what? Dimmer put me on it, onto it. There you go. I'm sure he did, Scotty. Ah, Dimmer. There's only so much you can say about Dimmer. Like, he won the flags for the Tigs, but the way he went out was not particularly great as a Tigers man. I know he owes us nothing, but at the same time, I can't help but be salty. I just don't beat around the bush with my opinions, I suppose. Don't play it safe. I just call a spade now. I don't know if actually people do or don't like that. Like, we already know what I think about a lot of things. I won't go into too many topics, or else people might get offended. But certainly, if people ask me what I think of a certain game, I definitely won't hesitate to actually give my real opinion, other than paint pretty pictures and say that I like something that I don't. I've never been that guy. I always give you the truth that I think is my opinion and not others. Get out, Sabrina. You've been fired. That's the last time you come inside here. The dog has stopped barking, so that is a positive sign. And I've rearranged my whole entire room over the last 2 or 3 days. That's been fun. I brought back the lava lamp because the lava lamp is iconic for my generation, born in early 90s. It's got a notification. My phone's on loud. My apologies. I keep going to call tonight, but you guys are still up, and it is midnight. Wow. Okay. I don't need to go gym tomorrow morning, so I don't really care. Scott Walker. I hated the new toys comment, but still love him. Yeah, I know. The new toys comment was ridiculous. And to be fair, he just grabbed Rioli, and we just got what, Josh Smiley for him, and a North Melbourne's first round pick for Daniel Rioli in the total or overall scheme of things. So he hasn't done Richmond too much of a bad favour there. I don't mind Smiley and North Melbourne's future first for Daniel Rioli, because that's what it actually added up to if you have a look at the draft picks swapped, etc. So you're potentially saying 2 first round picks for Daniel Rioli in the end. So thanks, Dimmer, for that stupid mistake. You've just picked up, what, a 27-year-old halfback flanker that you probably have a million of. And now we've got potentially, and I say potentially a lot, because this could be a Paddy Cripps pick, but it also could be a Riley Collier Dawkins pick, where you get this big body midfielder that just does nothing, plays VFL for the next few years and never shows something. But I doubt that will happen. I think Smiley is the man, because he was touted as the number 1 draft pick around June, I believe, because they're calling it the Smiley Cup. So he's been looking good in preseason training, and training you relatively do, no matter who you are. But look, if Zach Fisher can get games, anyone can. That was gold. Yes, it was, wasn't it? As Tigers fans, it definitely was, Scott. I hate this cat. Well, I think I'll give it another 10 minutes, and then I was going to say I'm going to go home. I'm already home. Give it another 10 minutes, then I'll go walk this dog, and I'll call it a night and do another stream. I don't know when my next stream will be, because I've got my boy next week. So when do I do a stream? I finish early Friday night, actually. I finish at 9:30 Friday night. So I might jump on a live stream Friday night. Keep an eye out. Now, the only way you'll know is actually if you're subbed. I'm not just saying that, but you'll get a notification saying that I'm streaming. I also put out a tweet. If you don't already follow me on X or Twitter, do so, and I'll put out if I'm streaming Friday night for a couple hours. And I'll get that up now because I got a memory of a goldfish. My Twitter or my X is actually called SuperCoach Pro 91, which is unfortunately what year I was born, if you do the math. And I post some SuperCoach relevant stuff during the season anyway on that. Sometimes things that aren't relevant, but majority of times 90% SuperCoach in there. So yeah, give me a follow on that. If I haven't followed you back on that, I do apologise. Like sometimes you get a lot of followers and you forget to follow them back because that's just social media, I suppose. I should probably make a TikTok this year for my SuperCoach as well. So if you guys are on TikTok, it might be an easier format to watch a round review or something like that as well. But the Sunday night live stream is actually what I'm looking forward to the most this year in SuperCoach. Scott, do you have any certain picks this year? I kind of do, but kind of don't. If I was to give you 5, Scott, I'll say Sheasel 1, Dacos 2, Butters 3, Cherry 4. They're probably my 4 at this point, and my certain starters. Dacos and Butters just been that next gen of midfielders that are going to probably continue this sailing of the ship for the next 5 years. And then Sheasel on the back line, like he can only get better, right? He's only going to get older, more experienced in what he does, and he plays midfield. Like everywhere he plays, he's so damn good. Same with Dacos. Like even when he plays up forward, he manages to kick a goal. So yeah, probably those few players are my go-to. I'm going to see one more time if my dog will come to me at the back in the front yard, and you can see my dog because I just got this new dog in the off season. So bear with me. Let's go get my dog. Yeah, she's still crazy, but she hasn't been barking, so we're okay. What's Jack written in the comments? I was trying to do maybe only 2 players around 650k mark. Watch Steve's video and he talks about value. Not sure if I'm starting Bont or Dacos yet, but we'll see. Haven't picked my team yet. Here's my dog. Hey, Noah. You can't go inside yet. Let me take you inside. Look how cute you are. Where are you? Oh, don't hide from the camera. Everyone's going to think you don't exist. This is the dog that's been barking. Okay, there she goes. She's just barking on cue right there. Okay, so Jack is basically saying that he's trying not to start these 650k players. I have to watch Steve's video and see what he's talking about value, but I feel like if you don't pay up for midfielders, you generally don't got a good VC and C option. So you're going to have to get some of these big end guys anyway, just to have a guaranteed VC and C. Because I'm certainly not going to rely on Petrarca, Chad Warner, and Will Ashcroft every week for a VC and C. So for me, I'm going to have 2 guys that are going to be expensive just to lock in that VC and C score. Because if you look at those players in the midfield that are mid 500s, they're guys generally that don't really have the ceiling sometimes. How well does Petrarca come off his injury as well? Like, is it worth picking those players that you're banking on to get back to the top? Or do you just do the set and forget? Butters, Dacos, Cherry, a couple of those mainstays. And who cares sometimes about saving that 30, 40k? Because sometimes you'll lose the points anyway. Because some of those players anyway that can have that 600k mark have the ability to outscore a Primo by 100 points at any given week. And I'm not missing out on that. But I certainly get where he's coming from, of course. He's a very smart man. And he's had better finishes than me in the last few years anyway. There's Steve. I think I just picked him last year. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But he's a very good SuperCoach player. Most of the content creators are, to be fair. They're very tactical. Jack, he's currently got English R1. Wow, okay. All right, I'm going to have to check out his 25-minute video of his team picker. Because he goes in on depth. I didn't go on any depth because I was rushing my video this morning before work. So I'm getting tattered, looking at my team picker, and I was like, probably missed a few players, but let's get this one out before I'm on Arvo shift all day. Interesting choice of English at R1. I'll have to listen to what he says why. Corey, Bont Dacos can get 170, 180 on any given day. If you got those right, you're flying for the VCNC. I strongly agree, and this is why I want to fit Bont in my side. I just haven't had the means to be able to get that yet. So yeah, that is a very considerable plan. If I turn off my light, can you guys see me, or does that look sus? Does it look I'm better to do like an OnlyFans or something? That will do. I'm just turning the light off because I'm about to get out of here anyway. Hopefully that doesn't look too weird on your screen. Cherry is my one, Cherry is my one. Currently have Shazel as the other. I agree with you though. Thanks, Jack. Yep. At least you got Cherry because you saw how good Cherry was for my VC and C every week last year. I still take Bont over Butters. Yeah, Robert, you're probably right. Honestly, the more I think about it, this is what the live streams provide is more of a reality check than more often than not sometimes. So yeah, pretty obvious call, isn't it, Robert? I suppose just because he's definitely got the history also to kick goals up forward more than some of these other midfielders. So that's the other thing I'm considering is that these midfielders kick goals as well. Can they take a contested mark? Can they get scaling for a game-changing goal at the end of the game as well, or at least be in that possession chain? So yeah, great. At least if Bont gets tagged, he goes forward and kicks 3 or 4 anyway and still manages the 95. Corey, I need to get Cherry as a North supporter. Don't blame you. Was watching him go huge in the last season and not owning him hurt. Yeah, it would. Hurt my watch factor as a supporter. It would, Corey. It definitely would. You got me excited with this comment. Jackie says the Hoyman as a forward is huge win for us. I think so too. I think he's a little bit overrated though, in terms of what he can do for our Supercoach sides going forward. I think he's about the right price. I don't think he's too much value for what he can produce. If I'm honest, that's what I think. I think he won't even get beyond like a 580k mark. So I think if you don't start him, you can pass on him because he will be around the same price throughout the year. Is tagging going to be big this year? We don't really know until middle of the season, to be honest. It's such a hard gauge. Every year is different. I think it will only be the players that are skeptical to tags. It won't be players that you've never really seen get tagged. I think it'll be more halfback flankers than you're thinking though this year coming into it than just your midfielders as well, because I've seen that a lot over the last couple of seasons. Halfback flankers they're tagging. Corey, I don't know how that Supercoach count position allocations into final series. Sorry, I don't like how that Supercoach counts position allocations into final series. Can you explain that a little bit more, Corey, before I head off? I might turn my light back on because it looks like I'm about to produce content that is not PG. That's better now. You can see I've got clothes on, of course. Now this cat has been fed. How many times have you been fed? Twice tonight, and you still want more. The door's semi-open, and you've made me get up at least 10 times in one stream. If I had to get up for every time you, like $1 per time, you'd owe me so much money. I'd be a rich man. I'd be a very rich man. I might make some bets with some content creators this year, just on random stuff, because that'd make for an interesting show. Corey, that's why Horn Francis got DPP due to playing heaps forward in the finals. Oh, okay, all right, I follow you now. So he's basically saying that Horn Francis got DPP in the forward line due to that's where he played in the finals as well. So therefore, maybe final scores should be counted into Supercoach scores next year. Is that how they should do it? If they're going to make your DPP based on your final series, then does your scores in Supercoach finals also be portrayed in next season's prices? One to consider, Corey. Have they considered that? They probably have. It was interesting to see their podcast the other day too, Code Sports and whatnot. And it was giving us a tease of the prices, but for me, I was just waiting for the team picker, so I had never made a side until the picker comes out. Like I don't really sit there make a side because it's too difficult to predict these prices. And then if you're going to give us the prices 2 days before they're actually going to come out, I'm probably just going to wait those 2 days to then fill out my side because it's not going to matter if I know 5 players and not the rest of my 30-man squad. Anyway, each their own if that's how you want to do it. Jack, forward picks will be very similar with McRae, Smith, Philpott, and Caleb Daniel. Not sold on McRae until I hear he's full inside mid. I think he's probably sellable at the point that it's not Bevo, and B, he's cheap enough to be surely an 85 mark guy at worst case, potentially Jack. I do get it though, but I think he'll be one that we still pick around round 1. Ooh, Robert, I've been agreeing with you most of the night, but for me, I don't think so. I can't see it being a trap. Big call, but a lot of you guys are still smarter than me though, and probably should have your own channel, at least half a dozen of you. That's being probably more than half a dozen, to be honest. I just nosed the mic once again. Still safe though. He's talking about McRae there. How are we peaking at midnight? It's midnight. I need to walk this dog, and you guys are still here. Wild times. Jack, got to head off now, mate. But I'll send you a text sometime soon. Sounds good, mate. Enjoy. Sleep easy. That's probably a different time zone there, but FPL McRae will probably be played in guts. I agree. FPL, I think he will be as well. You know what? We're going to do 8 more minutes to get to the 2-hour mark to say that, look, we've done a 2-hour stream in pre-season, so we're pretty dedicated to this channel and the viewers. So once this gets to 2 hours in 7 minutes and 40 seconds, we're calling it a night. Walking the doggo and then going to sleep. And what am I doing tomorrow? I'm actually going to get a hot chocolate up in there's this chocolate place. I won't mention it in case I get a few stalkers. Not that anyone would do that, but chocolate place up in where is it? Past Torquay that do really good chocolate. I'm going to go there and get a hot chocolate. It's worth the half an hour drive. What's the place called? I won't tell you what time in case I actually do get some stalker or something. I've had a stalker in the past, and it hasn't been from Supercoach, by the way. It was actually from this girl. She was nuts. Anyway, I won't go into that story. Chocolate place, Geelong. What is it called? I don't know if you guys ever venture out this way, but it's pretty popular down here in summer. The chocolate place. Okay, so if you guys in summer ever down my way in Geelong, it's called Great Ocean Road Chocolatier and Ice Creamery. It is bloody amazing. It's open from 9 to 5. Looks like 7 days a week. But anyway, it's called Great Ocean Road Chocolatier and Ice Creamery. I don't know why I can't get that right, but they have some amazing chocolate there. And it's worth a half an hour drive for a hot chocolate, which sounds wild. Because I'm more of a coffee man, but that's what I'm doing before work tomorrow. Gonna do that. And then hopefully I'll be able to sleep well. This tattoo cream better make me sleep easy. But yeah, Supercoach team picker. It's only $30 to sign up for it. And then you get all the gold subscription as well. So basically, I haven't actually been into that side since ages, but it gives you all the prices of projections as well. It's just a lot of advice. Like the Supercoach Gold is actually worth the $30 it is. So I do recommend getting it, especially if you're a newbie. Even if you're not a newbie, it's worth the $30. Probably wouldn't pay for it if it's $100, but it's definitely worth its $30. We see, hello. I think I've seen you here before, actually. Says, hey, Brad, been a while. I did recognise you. I'm thinking heavily on Coleman for my backline. What are your thoughts? I think Coleman is a very good option, to be honest. We say, obviously coming off an ACL, but if you have a look at his final series in 2023, Coleman, what's that? Kitty Coleman. Sabrina, you're already in my room. You don't need to meow at me. So Coleman's 25, starting next season. He's fairly cheap. In 2022, he averaged 87, and then in 2023, 71. But his final series that they're talking about in 2023 season was a prelim and a grand final back-to-back, 127 and 127. But if you go back a little bit more and you just take some back end of season scores, starting from round 16 before this ACL the year after, 112, 73, 66, 88, 94. Doesn't seem great, but you can see his slow building. 116, 82, 64, 127, 127. He's going to be sharing those kickouts in that halfback flank role with Zorko, you'd think, but there's no Rich there. And I believe Rich was playing that 23 season as well. So he's cheap enough. He's at the right age. He's a running halfback flanker. He's like 6 foot on the dot. So I think it's a good pick. I think if he's round 1, I'm probably going to lock him in. But I just think he might be a little bit beyond that, maybe around 3 or 4 potentially from reports. But I don't know if I got that wrong. But I think I like him as a pick if he's got the green light round 1. Robert, I don't really know how much. Sorry, I don't really know how much about SuperCoach. I suck at this game. Really? Well, from you got me fooled, mate. It seems like you know what you're talking about. So don't undersell yourself here. I'm just a Bulldog supporter and a former paper supplier. I love the humour. I actually got that joke. Give me some SuperCoach players for the Dogs that you're going to start. We've got 3 minutes and then I'm getting out of here. I'll read out every last question though. I got plus this year. Good on you, Scott. It's definitely worth it. 2 minutes 30 and counting. Oh, my MacBook is going to die. I swear, I take out the charger for 10 minutes and all of a sudden it's going to die. You know you're tired when you miss the hole in your charger. Okay, what do we got? I held the mic really weird then. I'm starting to get sleepy. FPL. His preseason before doing his ACL was great too. Good. He's talking about Coleman, and then he follows up with that in the next comment below. Always see ya. I'm deciding between. Well, I probably wouldn't go Houston. Houston's got that early suspension, so I'm pretty sure he's not playing for the first few rounds. If someone can confirm how many rounds that is, that'd be nice. And Martin for my back line. I'm not sold on Martin either. I think there's a few players around that mark. I might just have a look at those for you now and then just about sign off. But we'll get a lot of ball, we reckon. But let's look at that Houston Martin range just for you. And then we're pretty much going to call it a night unless anything else comes through. I'll finish with that as well. Team picker. Come on, don't freeze with me now. So this is my initial side. Wow, I can't believe it actually saved. How did I? Oh yeah, because I never saved it. Makes sense. So this is my initial side for anyone that hasn't seen my video. So my first thoughts on my primos are Sheasel, Holmes, McKercher, Mills are my primos or wannabe primos. Then I've got Hewitt, Trainer, Alan Smith for my rookies. I've only gone 2 deep into midfield, but VC and C contenders, Butters and Dacos. Ashcroft is my third, hoping to break that top 10 midfield range. And I've got, actually, I'm playing Smiley there. So we're talking about, can you go 5 deep or 4 deep in rookies? They're the players I'd be going for to start my side. Jagger Smith, Ed Allen is like a second, third year player playing halfback role. Draper, Ashcroft, Smiley. My ruck is Cherry, Meek, then forward line stacked in terms of no rookies. Horn Francis, McRae, Bailey Smith, Wick Parker, Philippu, Caleb Daniel. At the moment, I've gone for a very expensive ruckman in Max Gawn as my flex. This is just a cash cow rookie. These guys, Nevitt, Hewitt, etc., have been in the years for a couple. Sorry, in the sides for a couple of seasons now. And Fawcett's the second year key forward for Richmond. Davison is from the Richmond VFList who got into the Doggies lineup, who could play like a third tall potentially. So that's my thoughts in my side. Now I was going to do that for USC, and then I'm going after this. So we're talking that Houston range. Let's just sort out by price then, actually. Who was the other player? Martin. All right. So it's pretty close to the top. I'd rather spend an extra 17k. I didn't mean to put like that. And go Sinclair. And one below, Clark. I like that option better. Nass I like better. Holmes I like better. For around that mark than the two players you just mentioned. But if you want to go down that route, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, I'd pick those four over Houston and Martin. Just because Houston, that suspension, and then, Martin, I don't know, they could play him almost anywhere sometimes. Riley Sanders would get games. Yeah, well, Riley Sanders for me, Robert. I stupidly picked him as an F7, F6 last year, late in the season. Did not play well. I watched him really closely. I actually thought he was too slow. I thought his decision making was poor. And I felt like he was played a little bit out of position as well. I don't think he reads the game as well as I thought he would as well. I think he's a little bit overrated as a pick. Now, okay, I'm hoping for the Dogs he's not. But because I was watching him so heavily, I actually didn't like the way he played. I don't know if he'll break out anytime soon. Happy to be wrong on this pick, though. Hope he does well for the Dogs. But I did ask for a suggestion, and you gave me one, so thank you, Robert. But this is my opinion. He could smoke me and get 90s, and I look like an idiot, and we can go back to this podcast, and you'll be like, what are you saying? And I'll eat my own words. It's fine. And we're being on for 2 hours and 2 minutes, and we're not even New Year's. This is wild. All right, I'm about to go shortly. Very shortly, FPL says Dan Houston has a 5-match ban. Yeah, wow. Can't remember if he served any of those. Yeah, possibly one. Yeah, okay. So that makes him irrelevant, obviously. I hope I pronounced that right. So it could be available from round 4 or 5. Wait a minute, says Scott Roberts. I totally get what you're saying, yes. Well, I'm glad. I'm not going to lie, I get a little bit nervous when I do talk about some of these players that you do suggest, like just in the comments in below, because I don't want to feel like I'm dismissing anyone, because a lot of the time you guys can be right anyway. And we look back on it and go, okay, I got that one wrong. But at the same time, when you've brought in those players a year early, you have a heavy fixation to see what they're like and would you pick in next year. And like, if I look at my finishing side from last year, I had to play catch up a lot. So I'll go back into it and see if it loads my original side. I'm going to change my team name this year. So maybe give me some team name suggestions. Do I just go SC Pro? But anyway, Houston was in my side. McKercher was. Let's not talk about Fisher or Stewart. Sheasel was on the bench because he obviously didn't play. Luke Ryan was in my finishing side as well. Marty Hall got games late. Scored really horribly in that last game. None of these midfielders I'm looking at in terms of Green, Merritt, Steele, Young, Rosie potentially, but very injury prone. Sin could be one. Fraser was like just a stepping stone rookie, really, and just good coverage. Heaney, no, this year. Cherry was the one. Like, I had him VC. He was so consistent. C last year as well. Here's me. But that forward line is completely different this year as well. So no more key forwards and no ruckman in my forward line this year. I'm sick of picking small forwards, hence why I've gone so weird with my midfield forward line this year, because I don't want to be picking these guys that can in any given week score me 90 then 40. So last year's finish was a hard pill to swallow too, like just outside that top 5K. Started off 100K because I had a bad starting side, not going to lie, and we can see my season rank at the end of the season climbed back into that, I want to say 5K, but we know we're just outside there. So, and we didn't do footy tipping all year, so I don't think I'm a bad tipper, because last year I'm pretty sure I won the footy tipping, and the year before at my work. But total score top 3% last year. But yeah, 2 years before that it was like a 1,200 finish, so 1,200. So we're trying to get back to that top 1K ish. And it all depends on that starting side. Hence why I'm pumping out content to actually follow some more preseason notes than what I have in the previous season. So, look, we've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes. I have not had one pee break, bar just a barking dog and barking cat. Wait, cats don't bark. I've had to let out that cat a dozen times, so I do apologise for that and those interruptions. But good to see you all back and tuning in. Give us a like for this stream. So look, I've been pumping out for 2 hours, been chatting, whatnot. So yeah, give us a like before I leave. And look, sub if you're new or if you've been a while and haven't subbed before, because I know 50% of you watch my videos and still haven't subbed for whatever reason. But if you want more streams like this and more content, I'll still produce them, but it'd be nice just to get a little bit of loving as well. So, like I said, goals to get to 500 subs by the end of it. Thank you for all your time and all your questions. We'll be back Friday night, I want to say, about 9:30. Probably won't go for as long as what we have tonight, but definitely if you've got questions then, save it from then. We'll speak then, and I'll give you some update on the team pickers when I hear some more preseason notes, and I'll review all the games that the preseason has as well, so we can talk a bit more SuperCoach. Now, if I don't speak to you between now and Christmas, Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy New Year if I don't see you guys before then, but I'm planning on doing a Friday stream, so but if I don't catch you then, I'll catch you in the new year. Enjoy, and yeah, peace out for now. And check out my team picker video. Look, it only goes for 6 minutes. I go over the players I pick in my side and why very shortly, but nothing too in depth until maybe late January. So thanks for tuning in. I'll call it a night, walk this dog, and get out of here. Sleep in as well. Cheers.